Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical provider for Shaker Heights High School and middle school athletics. Cleveland Clinic's team of sports medicine specialists delivers high-quality care to all athletes, from high school athletes to the Cavaliers and Guardians. Visit clevelandclinic.org/sportsmedicine to learn more. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaker Heights High School and its athletic department prioritize the safety of our athletes, coaches, staff, and spectators, as well as those of our visiting schools and communities. Participants are asked to familiarize themselves with the location of event and security personnel, as well as the faculty's emergency exits. In the event of an emergency situation, all participants are asked to remain calm, listen for public address announcements, and follow the instructions of event and security personnel. Please contact event or security personnel with any questions or concerns. Thank you for your assistance.
Yvonne? Take a short
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Gentlemen, remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem and the Shaker alma mater. as enjoyable as possible. Please represent your school and community in a positive
Hello, Shaker Heights varsity football fans, and welcome into the Russell H. Rupp Stadium, where your Red Raiders are back at it for the Week 7 matchup of Shaker Heights hosting the Menor Cardinals. Now, the Menor Cardinals are the toughest competition Shaker has faced so far. They are 6-0 on the season to this point, and they are projected to go 10-0, and that includes with a win here today. Shaker looking to get the biggest upset in their team in many, many years. But we'll see how it all goes. It would be a huge upset. We will see. Cornell Beard is out today. Trey McNutt has been out for a couple weeks. We believe him to be out once again. He was in sweatpants during warm-up, so we assume he is out once again. And we'll still keep you updated with how the quarterback position is being filled. But for now, my name is Vaughn Ullum on the call. Thank you very, very much for tuning in here from Shaker Heights, Ohio.
with an overall record of 6-0 and a GCC record of 2-0. Shaker Heights enters tonight's contest with an overall record of 2-4 and a GCC.
Shaker enters into today winless in the Greater Cleveland Conference. On the other side, Menor is yet to lose a Greater Cleveland Conference game. They are 2-0. And again, I mean, they haven't lost a single game whatsoever. So it'll be a tough victory for Shaker here today. I mean, if we look at Max Preps, they'll tell you the story. Shaker enters into today in Ohio, ranked 362nd. Menor is 15th. I mean, no one is closer to spot number 1 than Menor in the GCC. Again, 2-0 in the GCC. Going to be seeing a lot of red here today, and that is firstly just because of the color schemes of these two squads. Shaker, the Red Raiders, of course, here they are, red helmets, red jerseys, white pants with a red stripe down the middle. And then on the other side, you got Cardinals. What color are they? They're red, and we see that in the accents of their uniforms as well, with a gray helmet. However, other than that, all white. But again, you get those accents of red. That's what make them the Cardinals. Basically, that same kind of logo you're going to see from the Arizona Cardinals. You know how high schools tend to take these logos, change them up a bit with a cardinal. I mean, you can't make it blue. So it's basically just the same logo as that professional football team, the Arizona Cardinals. Shaker, on the other hand, has a lot more pressing things on their mind. They're going to get the ball first, and we got to see what their offense is going to do. Again, we don't even know who their backup running back will be entering into today. Maybe it's going to be split between multiple people. We'll see how head coach Alex Nicholson comes into today. What will his approach be? Well, we don't know yet, but answers will come. 12 minutes up on the clock, symbolizing the start of quarter number 1. We start at 0-0. Here comes the kickoff. It's a high-up kickoff taken in at around the 5. I believe that's Darius Coleman. He's trying to find a hole, but instead he'll bash right into a line of bodies in front of him, and he'll go down between the 15 and the 20. Only 6 seconds off the clock, 11:54 remaining in this first quarter of play. Now Shaker needs to get it started, and they need to keep momentum going throughout the game. What do I mean by this? Well, last week, Shaker scored on their opening drive, and they kept it a 3-0 game throughout that entire first quarter against Brunswick. After that, not so pretty. 35-3 was your final, and Brunswick got the victory on Shaker's homecoming game. Here's a run to the near side, and it was Bryant on the run. We'll see how many handoffs Bryant is going to get here today. Jasir Edie stands at the near side hash mark right at the 15-yard line. Here's another snap, and they're going to run it to the near side once again, and that defense will stuff them once again.
Ball's handed off again to number 6, Bryant.
Again, it's Landon Bryant who's actually labeled on the varsity roster as a wide receiver and outside linebacker. But maybe he's just going to be a running back here today. He's got the build of a running back, a bit shorter and a bit more big, I suppose I should say. Just a bit more build on his figure. Here's Jasir Eady. They're going to trust him to throw it, and already the pocket collapses, and this is going to be dangerous, but he'll fly across the 25. And so already we bring out the punting team on what is going to be a 3 and out. 8 yards on the drive. It's a 4th and 2. Lucas White, number 88, in to handle the punt here. 10-10 remaining in quarter number 1. And again, Shaker has lost these last 2 weeks by 32, and that means running clock was in both of these 2 games. Against Shaker, of course. So even a loss by 31, it feels like could be an improvement, but that's not really what you're looking for if that's head coach Alex Nicholson down there on the sideline. And out comes this dangerous Menor Cardinal offense, and we've got plenty to talk about on this offense. We're talking 4 different Division I offered players, including this guy right here, already slinging it to the near side for his receiver, number 4, Grant Cerny. And, I mean, let's get talking about this quarterback. Scotty Fox is the big name. We heard it all throughout today's classes at the Shaker Heights High School. Shaker knows that they have a Division I commit in the house here at the Russell H. Rupp Stadium, and it comes with this number 15 in at quarterback, standing 6'2", weighing about 210, 215. Here's a handoff to the far side, and already they're going to pick up their first down, getting across midfield. It's going to be about the 48 where the ball is spotted. The running back, really the only position that isn't a D1 offer over there in Menor. You got a quarterback, you got a wide receiver as well in Justin Hodge. He's got 10 offers to his name. And then you got offensive lineman Landry Breed and JoJo LaDuca. He's got 2 MAC offers. So, again, it's not the same, but here's a pass over the middle between the hash marks. This will move it up to around the 30, and talk about that Fox to Hodge connection there. You see it in effect, and Menor is marching down the field. 9:30 left to go in quarter number 1. You are going to start to see why Scotty Fox is their guy. And he's been their guy for a couple of years now. Last year, Scotty Fox was their quarterback as well. That's a hold for sure. And the throw down the sideline, and Menor will make the catch. And their student section rejoices, but clearly they didn't see that yellow laundry hitting the field in the backfield. And it looks like there might have been an injury. Looks like there's an injury as it's a Red Raider down in pain, as if they haven't had enough injuries already. Injuries have been hurting them on offense. The defense taking a hit here. We're going to step aside for the injury timeout. We will be right back. We're scoreless through the first 3 minutes of the game. It's going to be a 1st and 20 when we come back for the Menor offense. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back here from Shaker Heights. Well, I wish I could give you a name for that injured man down. Unfortunately, on the roster, we don't have a number 92, so can't really do that. In fact, we don't have any 90s. So here's a 1st and 20. Inside run to the near side, and the running back gets over 10 yards. He won't be quite to the 1st down marker. It'll be a 2nd down, but much more manageable than the last 20 yards. That was in front of him before. They're going to roll it a 2nd and 7. Ball at the 27. Really got to get to the red zone if you want a first down. Here's a run to the far side once again. Trying to take him down. Eventually they will. The tackle that time was for number 24, D'Angelo Pettis, the sophomore, making his presence known. And it's going to be a 3rd down and about 3 yards to go. So if you want to stop him, now is your time to try and get it done. We will see. This would be a great sign for the defense if they can hold him here. Let's see what happens. Scotty Fox takes the football, hands it off to the far side. Tripped up is the running back, but he'll break the tackle, keep it moving forward, and he'll pick up that first down. 7:41 left to go in quarter number 1. Again, we're still scoreless. Ball will now be spotted at the 19. So they're inside the red zone, and they have been marching. Positive yardage each play, except for that one by the penalty. Here's a throw. Far side and a dropped pass. That pass was for number 3, Marcus Serpatowski. The senior standing 6 foot, 170, just unable to reel it in. And so we move to a 2nd and 10. Scotty Fox, perfect on his passes so far. That's why he's committed to the Big 12 school of West Virginia University. Only 1 incompletion to this point. He's been perfect since then. But really, again, it's not his fault on that last play. Here's a run to the far side once again. A bit surprised that they're running it this much, considering Scotty Fox is their man and their wide receivers have a Division I offer there as well, or 10. It's just to one guy. Again, Menor is 6-0. I'm sure they know what they're doing. And this will be a 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Shaker's defense needs to hold strong. They know that this is going to be a tough competition, and it's their time to shine, especially if their offense continues to have those kinds of 3 and outs, and it's another drop. Same receiver, the number 3, Serpatowski. And, well, you really can't blame anybody else except for that number 3, Marcus Serpatowski. 2 drops, same set of downs. And that brings us to a field goal attempt on the far hash mark. We're looking at about a 32-yarder. Here's the snap, the good hold. The kick is up, and my goodness, does that have the power on it? And it is through the uprights. My goodness, get that kicker a D1 offer as well. So as Dylan Tackett puts it up, Menor takes the first lead of the night. It's 3-0. We'll step aside as Shaker's offense getting set to roll back out to the field. 6:36 left to go in the first quarter. My name is Vaughn Ullum on the call from Shaker Heights. And we're back for the kickoff. Menor kicking it away to the Shaker offense. It'll be Shaker's second offensive drive. And there it goes. Tackett on the kickoff. This one's going to be taking a bounce inside of the end zone. Shaker not going to touch this one up. They'll let it go for a touchback. Now, Shaker's offense getting set to come back out. Looks like we're still going to get Jasir Eady in there. And again, we've had a couple different looks at quarterback, or I suppose really only one different look, and that's Quinn Malone. But both of them struggled. We saw it in that Benedictine game. Each of them had 2 interceptions in that game. The difference is Quinn Malone had 2 interceptions in 1 quarter. Jasir Eady, 2 interceptions in 3 quarters. And here's a snap. Jasir Eady under pressure, throwing it to the right side. And that one down to the turf, just a bit short of a throw. Coleman, the intended receiver, number 3. And 6:31 remaining in this first quarter. So a lot of the issues with the quarterback position isn't really with the quarterback too much at all. And it's really with the guys in front of him. The offensive line has really struggled over the start of the season. And I guess now we're through the first half. So more so I should say the first 6 weeks of the season. Here's a run. They were looking to go outside, far side. And again, that time it was to Bryant. But the loss of Cornell Beard could be biting these Shaker Red Raiders early in the football game. Clock continues to roll, 6:10 and working on down on a 3rd and 13. You would assume they pass it here. Jasir Eady, a guy that just needs to get comfortable slinging and trusting his arm, because he'll always run out of the pocket, but he really just needs to throw it, and right there, good move, first down. Helmet comes off from one of the Shaker O-linemen. That O-lineman, number 75, Emery Landrum, the junior. He'll just put on his helmet and come right back into play. First down and 10 for the Shaker offense. And you never know. Shaker and Menor last year was actually a solid game. Shaker did lose at 44-29, but if you take out the first quarter, Menor would have only won 30-29. Here's a run. They're looking up the middle once again. Bryant this time going to muscle for some positive yardage. It'll be about 3 yards. Oh, maybe 4? No, they're back to 3. But it was Shaker's first loss of the season last season. They started off 6-0, and that was their first loss of what would be 3 in the final 4 weeks of the season. Shaker went on to play in the playoffs. They had that shootout loss against Barberton. Jasir Eady stands between the hash marks. Bryant behind him. Trying to fake snap. Now we'll get it, and it looks like there's a flag, and there's a fumble on the play as well. Looks like Shaker did get it back. If so, there would be more commotion. Looks like they're calling a false start. If so, they should have called the play dead.
False start against the Raiders.
But it did. So it should be a 2nd down and 12. But now, actually, they're going to decline this penalty. Or, excuse me, no offsetting penalties. Or the penalty was declined. Not sure what the stadium announcer's given me. But Shaker's offense, what are they going to do? They're going to run it on a 3rd and 7. And up the middle, they are stuffed. Bryant averaging negative yards per carry, but they decide to run it on the 3rd and 7. Interesting decision. Didn't work out. It's going to be a 4th down, 7 yards to go, so they're just going to punt this one away. Once again with Lucas White, his 2nd punt in his 2nd drive. with this Shaker squad. Let's see what he's got on it. Low snap, he recovers, and a solid punt. It'll be fair, caught around the 25. And out comes the Menor offense once more. So now it's time for them to bring us to a 2-possession score. That's if Scotty Fox can get the job done with the men in front of him. Again, 2 drops in the last possession and in the last set of, in the last set of downs for this Menor offense. It was both by the same guy. It was number 3, Marcus Serpatowski. And those 2 drops killed the drive. Here's a throw to the near side. And moving around, Darius Coleman is the receiver, Cerny. And eventually he'll be taken down after picking up a first.
Coleman on the stop for the Raiders. The Cardinal advanced the ball to their 39-yard line. First and 10.
Scotty Fox stands on the near side hash mark. Ball spotted at the 39. He's going to run this one to his guy. Going left. That's number 25, Jackson Farley. Guy standing 5'9", weighing 180, a junior. The Menor band keeping us energized as their offense moves down the field. The Menor. Scotty Fox looking to throw it, and he's got his man. Oh my goodness, that was money. Just great defense by the man guarding, and that was number 4, Brian Mitchell, and we've seen some highlight defensive plays by him. But again, Scotty Fox was right on it. Serpatowski, the intended receiver once again, and once again it's an incompletion to Marcus Serpatowski. But that pass, my goodness, that was right on it. A guy that is throwing up comparable stats to the quarterback that last had this kind of success. Here's a run up the middle, another first for the Cardinals. But if you don't know who I'm talking about Mitchell Trubisky of the Menor Cardinals. Went to UNC, then he went to the Chicago Bears. Not actually sure where he is now. Believe he's with the Buffalo Bills, serving as a backup behind Josh Allen. Scotty Fox, play action pass. He's airing this one out. Does he have his man? Oh, right in the basket. To Justin Hodge, D1 commit to D1 offered. And there's your first touchdown of the game, and that was beautiful. That is what you need to see from a Division I kid. There you go, 9-0. It's going to be Tackett to try and make it 10-0. That was a perfect little pass, and we have not seen a single pass that hasn't been so far from Scotty Fox. His few incompletions were drops or perfectly played by the defense. So maybe you can argue that one of his reads wasn't exactly the best. But I mean, come on. First two drives by the Menor Cardinals. First one's a field goal. The next one is a touchdown. Shaker's offense needs to respond when we come back. Both kickoff units getting set to take the field. 2:11 left to go in the first quarter. Well, that's why they're 6-0, ladies and gentlemen. The offense is cooking with gas. These Menor Cardinals are winning this one 10-0 after a perfect passing touchdown from Scotty Fox to Justin Hodge. The West Virginia commit threw it on the money to his #1 receiver and one of the best receivers, arguably, in the state of Ohio. Justin Hodge, 10 offers are his way. Now Shaker's offense huddles up. Menor's already ready for him. They stand on the turf, all spread about. And Shaker with 1 first down to this point. Need to get a second and just try to build off of the little bit of momentum. 2:11 left to go in this first quarter. Menor up by 10. The snap, Jasir Eady drops back, but we got Yellow Laundry down to the turf before any play could really get started. We're waiting for a referee signal. No initial signals as we begin this conversation. Now, looks like there's no flag. Calling a play dead after it's already snapped. And then picking up the flag. That's a bit of a surprising move, but it's a move that was made nonetheless. And, well, you can't turn back time. So we are going to get back to it on a first down. 10 yards to go. Ball spotted at the 20 after a touchback on the kickoff. Each team with their full 3 set of timeouts. Here's a run. They're going to go up the middle once again. Bryant hit right as he got through his O-line. Bryant, so far, struggling to fulfill the role of running back. Hasn't got much positive yardage to go this Shaker offense way. Keep in mind, in that last game against Menor last week, it was also 14-0 in the first quarter. Menor was leading. Here's a run to the outside for Bryant. He was going to the near sideline. Unfortunately, he stopped in his tracks by #2, Gavin Briggs, the defensive back. And now Shaker's offense faces another 3rd down and long. Bryant is to Eady's left side. That's the near side. 3 receivers far to his right side of the O-line and 1 to the near side as well. Jasir Eady looking to air this one out. He's got a lot of time in the pocket, and that one right in the hands of #3, Darius Coleman, but it's dropped. The #3 receivers are really struggling to this point. That means Serpatowski for the Menor Cardinals and also now Darius Coleman. It's either just been straight up incompletions or some drops as well. We've seen 2 from Serpatowski and now 1 from Coleman. 45 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Lucas White getting set to take this punt. He stands at the 7-yard line of the football field. And there it flies. This one taken in on the midfield logo, that S, at the 50-yard line. And now, eventually taken down around the 35. There's an injured man down for the Red Raiders as head coach Alex Nicholson comes out and makes a beeline for that player down to the turf. We'll see what the flag was as well. Looks like it's going to be an illegal block in the back on the team in full white and gray. Like, what was the penalty? There's an illegal block in the back. Isn't that what that is? Yeah.
It's an illegal block against the Cardinals. They're going to begin their drive at the midfield stripe, 1st and 10.
With an illegal block in the back, they should be starting off their drive around midfield. The man that was down was number 44. That's Nakeem Wilson. And you can hear it from his coaches up here in the risers. You could hear them cheering him on because he was showing an incredible amount of effort trying to get to the punt returner. Unfortunately for him, just got a little banged up in the process. 29 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Menor only needs to run one more play in the quarter. We'll see if they do just that or if they decide to go a little bit of hurry up. Two receivers to the near side of the O-line, two to the far side. And they are indeed going to throw it once again, Scotty Fox. And this one's picked off. Taking it across midfield, past the 40. And a big turnover, much needed for Shaker. That one picked off by number 22, Kevin Lowry. And we've seen a lot of big plays from him. Add this one to the highlight reel. 7 seconds off the clock on that play. We got 19 more here in this first quarter. Shaker down by 10, looking to lessen that deficit now with better starting field position than they've had so far. This is their fourth offensive drive. Struggling to find these first downs, but now hopefully with this better starting field position, maybe they can just have a little bit more momentum. And right now, clearly the receiver's just not set. The receiver's totally unsure of what was going on. And that made Brian Fleshman look over to the near side, shrugging his shoulders. What am I supposed to do now? And so Shaker takes the timeout to try and talk things over and get everyone on the same page. And, well, now hopefully they are. They send back out the O-line, followed by quarterback and receivers. And, of course, Bryant, the man in the backfield with him today. Again, that's Landon Bryant, the junior, again, listed as a receiver on the official roster. But with Cornell Beard out this week, you throw in Bryant and you try to play your cards. Maybe we'll see other running backs as well throughout the night. But for now, they're sticking with Landon Bryant. Two receivers far wide of each side of the line. They're going to hand this one off to Bryant once again. It'll be positive yardage, but really just about a yard and a half. And so that will take us to the end of quarter number one. If you honestly think about it, that's a better start than last season's game, as it was 14-0 advantage Menor. This time, it's only 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. So we'll step aside. Menor up 10-0, but Shaker trying to get something done with the good starting field possession. It'll be a 2nd and 9 when we come back. Shaker's offense going to switch sides of the field. We'll be right back. Shakers offense faces a second down with 9 yards to go as we begin the second quarter of the football game. Menor leading 10-0 through that first set of 12 minutes, and it's going to be Jasir Eady. Play action. He's going to throw this one deep down the field, and we're going to get the PI call. That was close. Could have been argued just good defense, but nope. Darius Coleman, or excuse me, no. That's number 9, Cameron Jackson, the senior. And Menor, the only squad with penalties so far. Originally, it was 3 for 35 in that first quarter. Now make it 4 for 50. As that's going to tack on, I believe, 15. At least it typically would, with an automatic first down coming their way as well. And the referees move the ball up a little bit more. Keep in mind, this drive made possible via the turnover. It was an interception from Scotty Fox right into the hands of Kevin Lowry, and those you cannot take for granted because Scotty Fox is not going to do that much. Here's a designed run to Jasir Eady, moving his way forward, and that's exactly what he said. He wants to run. Moving forward into the late weeks of the season. He said to me, if I'm being honest, he said to me at the homecoming dance, he said to me, listen, you see how I can run. He said this in regards to his couple of run plays and this last week against Brunswick. He said, you can see how I run. Just give me these opportunities and I can make some plays happen. And he's not talking about scrambling out of the pocket if it collapses. He's talking about give him some designed runs and he'll get a 4-yard pickup like he did right there. Jasir Eady hands this one off to Bryant. Bryant slows down as he makes his way to the O-line in front of him. And in doing so, they're not going to gain much of anything. Maybe they won't gain anything. And I don't believe so. Third down, 6 yards to go. $17 yards to go till they get to the goal line. Shaker could really use a touchdown on this drive. Jasir Eady handles a low snap. Pocket collapses, and he'll take off to the left side. He'll force his way past one, and now he'll be taken down past the first down marker. New set of downs, a first down, and I believe first and goal will be coming your way. If not, it'll be something like a 1st and 11, but nope, it is a first and goal from about the 9. Yeah, that is indeed the case, about the 9. 10 minutes to go here, the second quarter of the football game. Let's see what they draw up. High snap. They go to Landon Bryant once again, and that is just not working with Bryant. For the time being, Bryant continues to have negative plays or 0-yard plays. And obviously, that's not going to get the job done. Oh, wait. They rule this one supposedly a gain of 1, maybe 2. So there you go. Call it a gain inside of the scrum of O-line. Or excuse me, no. They move it back. Loss of 2. Now Jasir Eady going to the air, looking for his man, and this one through the hands. Looking to go to that back left corner of the end zone, but it'll fall incomplete. They were looking for number 9, Cameron Jackson, and that brings up a 3rd down and goal from the 9. What do they draw up on a 3rd and goal? And do you go for it even if you don't get it here? About to find out. Low snap. Jasir Eady handles it. Pocket collapsing. He'll escape everyone. Can he get a block in front of him? He doesn't need it. He's across the goal line. Touchdown, Jasir Eady. He knows what he's talking about when he says, give me some more runs, because he can make plays like that happen. And now it's a one-possession game with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Lucas White in to kick this one through the uprights. Quinn Malone to hold the snap, and he does just that. The kick is blocked, and it's no good. So it will remain a 10-6 score, and we're going to step aside. Don't let that missed PAT opportunity take away from that big touchdown of Jasir Eady. Shaker not supposed to be in this position at this point in the ball game, yet for the moment they are holding on. 9:06 to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back. Vaughn Ullum on the call from the Russell H. Rupp Stadium. Acting like I don't know. 9:06 remaining in this second quarter. It's suddenly a one-possession game once again. 4 points separate the Menor Cardinals and the Shaker Heights Red Raiders. Standing back at the 30-yard line, here comes Andrew Mullen to kick this one off. Not sure what the intention was that time around. It's kicked and taken in around the 30, only moving it up to around the 32, and that's where Scotty Fox is going to need to bounce back with his offense. Scotty Fox in that last possession turned it over on an interception right to the hands of Kevin Lowry, protecting the wide receiver in front of him well. The ball will indeed be spotted at the 32-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and 10. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side of that offensive line in front of Scotty Fox, the West Virginia commit that just made a mistake in that last Menor offensive possession. Let's see what they do here. Now they're just going to keep it on the ground and play it safe. Tripped up is the running back making his way to around the 47. There is a flag down, and we'll see what is ruled. Looks like the referee is telling the man with the sticks to head back. We'll see why. Oop. Nothing going on. There was a sideline warning for the Shaker side. Just a bit too jumpy over there on the near side. Nothing too crazy. And they're actually going to roll this one to the 49. 1st and 10, right up against midfield. The ball rests on the S logo on the midfield stripe. Here's another run. They're going to the far side, inside of the O-line, and my goodness, that running back, Farley, continues to just push his way through. And let's see, do they mark him just short? Indeed, it looks like they're going to mark him just short. It's going to be a short 2nd down. Looked like it was a 1st down. But now the referees call it back to a 2nd down, 1 yard to go, and we know Farley is able to pick that up. Let's see if Shaker's defense can hold him back a little bit. Oh, here's a fumble taken in by Shaker on the midfield logo. Immediately, we get the signal, Shaker Heights ball. Andy Benincasa, the big body on the hockey team as well. He's on the lacrosse team. He's an athletic son of a gun, and there you go. He's making the play happen. And 8:14 remaining in the second quarter. Shaker down by 4. Let's see what their offense can do. Putting the ball in the hands of Jasir Eady right now is looking like the surest thing, even though that hasn't been the case mainly throughout the season. Here's a collapsing play. Jasir Eady just going to go down, because that was clearly a broken play from the starting snap.
Edie slides down on a broken play. Loss of 3 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 13 from the 43-yard line.
So Shaker down 10-6. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side left. Jasir Eady fumbles this one. Bryant can't pick it up. And Bryant is having a rough day in the backfield. There is a flag down, and we'll see what it is. Looks like there's something offsetting. False start on Shaker. And that's declined. Shaker's momentum short-lived on a fumbled handoff to Landon Bryant, who has been struggling in the backfield so far. Here's a run up the middle to Farley once again, and Menor right back where they left off.
Advances the ball down to the 20-yard line of the Raiders. Mullen on the tackle for Shaker.
The score currently 10-6, Menor leading here at the Rupp. And here they're gonna trust it with Scotty Fox once again, and this looks like it should be a first down. And indeed, the referee motions to move the sticks. Or excuse me? No, he'll mark it just short by mere centimeters, it feels like. I mean, that is right up close to that first down marker. Should be an easy pickup for Menor, especially with the way they've been running the ball, and why not get something extra as Farley with a nasty juke move makes his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Menor Cardinals. 16-6, Menor leads. And the Menor student section chants his name, Jackson Farley, the junior, making it happen with his legs. So it'll be Dylan Tackett to send this one through the uprights. And here's the senior's kick. It is up, and my goodness, does that just soar over the band unlike any other kicker. I mean, that was just perfect. And we're about to see him back out to the field as he's getting set to kick one off. Shaker's offense needs to limit any sort of turnovers, especially when you're playing against Menor. You have to play some mistake-free football, it seems. Again, this is a team that is 6-0. They beat squads like St. Ignatius. They beat teams like Medina and Heights. Tough competition that Shaker has not faced yet. .631 remain in this second quarter of action. Shaker down by 11 points. They need to get momentum back on offense, even though there was that bad fumble on the handoff between Jasir Eady and Landon Bryant. That's what you're going to get as a new running back comes in when he has not gotten many snaps at all. And here's a tricky little kickoff. Who will take it in? It's going to be Shaker's number 41 taking it past the 30-yard line, and that number 41 is indeed Jaden Lofton, the sophomore. 6:25 left to go in the second quarter.
34-yard line, 1st and 10, Raiders.
Two receivers in motion. It's Chavis and it's Fleshman to the near side. And they will get set, broken play, it seems. Jasir Eady making some moves with the legs. And he'll go down after a gain of about 7, 3 yards to go on the second down. Shaker's got time for a decent drive. It might be the smartest move to elongate this drive, so you don't give Menor too much time, or you try to get something done quickly so you get the ball back before that clock hits 0. We're going to see what approach head coach Alex Nicholson is going to take. Jasir Eady stands on the 35-yard line, right between the hash marks. Not Bryant. In the backfield with him once again was that number 41, Joseph Lofton. And he's taken down before any sort of gain. It was a 3rd and 3, now call it, it was a 2nd and 3, now call it a 3rd and 5. Lofton, the running back, number 41, stands in the near side of where Jasir Eady stands. Now he'll motion to his far receivers. And Jasir Eady, pocket collapses immediately. He'll escape. Now to Kevin Lowry right off the fingertips. Made the interception earlier. That time just couldn't hang on. And the punt team comes right back out for Shaker Heights. And here's a fake of a play, and that blown up immediately. That went nowhere. As it was a trick play, didn't go to Lucas White whatsoever. It was a run to the far side. Big Davis on the run. And he did not have Menor fooled whatsoever. And now Menor with the opportunity to take this lead up another notch. 17-6 is the current score. Let's see what they do here. Here's a snap to Scotty Fox. He's looking to go end zone immediately. And that time, once again, he was looking for Serpatowski, and once again, it's incomplete, but that time, just over the head of his man, overthrown by Scotty Fox. 4:38 left to go in the second quarter of the football game. Shaker losing this one 17-6. Scotty Fox talks to his O-line. Now he'll back up. joining the man in the backfield with him. That's his running back, Farley. Once again, good blocking, but now aggressively taken down, just getting near the 25, and that might be exactly where they mark it. Or actually just behind the 25. Fidel, the man to bring him down. 4:20 and counting down remaining here in the second quarter. Shaker down 11. It's a third down, about 3 yards to go for the Menor offense. Scotty Fox gonna keep this one himself. He's got good blocking up past the 10 and out of bounds before getting to the 5, but he is for sure in the red zone. There is no doubt about that.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 10-yard line. First and goal.
Just under 4 minutes to go in the second. First and goal. They call this one at about the 10, which seems a little generous to the Shaker defense. Here's a run to, not even sure who had the football that time.
Burns carries for the Cardinals.
Looks like it was Burns. Dominic Burns, number 20, junior running back as well. Scotty Fox in the backfield, 2 receivers wide of each side of the line. He'll give this one back to Burns. I believe stopped just short. It's going to be a third down and goal from about 2 yards out. Lowry getting the job done on defense once again, holding more points off the scoreboard. Menor taking their sweet time, but honestly could be in their best interest. The way they have handled the Shaker offense so far, held them to 3 and outs as well. And here they go, back to Dominic Burns. They mark him just short. And it feels like at that point you just gotta go for it. We'll see if that's what they decide on. For the moment, they're leaving Scotty Fox out there. They're leaving Dominic Burns out there. And now they're going to get a timeout from Shaker Heights. Head coach Alex Nicholson brings in his defense to talk things over at 2:24 left to go in the second quarter. Shaker down by a score of 17-6 against the GCC opponent of the Menor Cardinals. Here from the Russell H. Rupp Stadium, my name is Vaughn Ullum on the call. And here we go, fourth down, about 2 yards to go. Here's the run up the middle, and Shaker stops him short, it seemed. Oh, but it was a trick play to Scotty Fox. Shaker's team was celebrating for a minute. You could see the jumps for joy of the red jerseys on the near sideline, but it was kept by Fox the whole time. And it's a touchdown for the Menor Cardinals. So it's going to be Tackett to tack on an extra point. Here's to make it 24-6. This one is up, and he is perfect so far. Nothing changes. And so we step aside. 24-6. Menor leading. 2:19 left to go in the second quarter. And here's the kickoff. This one sailing back to the end zone once again, right in the middle of the hashes. And that means the clock will stay put at 2:19 in the second quarter. It's now an 18-point game favoring the road team of Menor. It was 10-6, but now 2 unanswered touchdowns to this point. Let's see if Shaker can at least answer back to one of them. 2 receivers wide of the line on each side. Jasir Eady gonna sling this one, and out time. They were looking for number 84, Chavis. But that one goes nowhere. Not sure he knew exactly where that one would be coming his way. If it was to his right side or it was to his left side. It was too late once he realized. And so, at the 20-yard line, make it a second down, 10 yards to go. Shaker looking for their 3rd win of the season. And unless Shaker's offense can get clicking right here, right now, it doesn't look too likely at this point. Again, Shaker needs to win 2 of their final 4 matchups if they want to make the playoffs, and that includes this week. So if they don't win this week, you got to win 2 of the last 3. And then if you don't win that one, it becomes 2 of the last 2, and there's not any room for mistakes if you really want to make the playoffs. They're going to rule this one a gain of about half a yard. Not really, more like a loss of a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 11. But Menor, let me tell you right now, they know what they are doing. I mean, they, again, 6-0, 2-0 in the GCC. It's their 5th season under the current head coach, Matt Gray. And that coach, according to Max Prep's 36-15 overall throughout these 5 seasons. That's including this one. And he was the assistant coach for Menor until that promotion in 2020. And before that, he actually was a coach for Willoughby South. And let's just say, out of those 2 programs, he made the right decision. Shaker beat one week 1, and the other one is currently beating him by 18. Here's Jasir Eady taken down by a couple Cardinals around the line of scrimmage. Maybe got about half of a yard, but he'd be lucky if that's added to the stats. They help Jasir Eady up to his feet. And Lucas White is back out there with the punt team. Hopefully it won't be another fake. Less than 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Menor in their 3rd GCC game. Beating squads like Heights and Medina already. And those are really some of the 2 hardest opponents that you're going to face. The hardest competition, really what's going to be the best 2 squads in the GCC this year. Again, this is so far have proven to be Menor and Strongsville. And so that game later on in the season will be a lovely watch for anyone looking for good football. And that time, a Cardinal right up in his face. He just needs to punt this one away just short of the 40-yard line. Doesn't cross midfield, so it's going to be great starting field position for Menor to tack on some points. Only an 18-yard punt from Lucas White. And it looks like the Shaker band is starting to disperse, and back behind the bleachers, they are getting prepped. Menor all the same, 2 big bands. Shaker with a huge band, and that's a known thing for this Shaker Heights High School. On the other side, however, Menor, just an incredible enrollment of 2,400 students. And that's the largest enrollment of any GCC school. And this time it's going to be an incompletion from Scotty Fox. The intended target was Fox. So far, Menor is 1 for 3 on passing in the quarter, but yet they find themselves up by 18, 24-6. Here's a good run to the near side. It's back to Farley, even though Burns was the last guy in there. Farley to the near side, and he has just been eating. He has just been eating this Red Raider defense alive. And let's see if that continues. With the way Menor has been moving it, I mean, they're looking like they want to get running clock before halftime. But, again, that's going to be difficult to do. Here goes Scotty Fox. Great pass. That was looking like pass interference, but he caught it, and typically that inclines a referee to not call it as much if it is a completion. But sometimes you get those rare occurrences. If you look back at that phenomenal Odell Beckham Jr. catch, that was a pass interference. But yet, the catch was made, and here's a run. Past the O-line, he storms, and Jackson Farley is in once more. And now they are one possession away from that second half running clock. 30-6. Tackett comes on to tack on point 31. And there we go. It is up and it is good. 25-point differential. And we're going to step aside with 1:14 remaining in this second quarter. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back from the Russell H. Rupp Stadium. Shaker down 25. They're going to get the football back. And ladies and gentlemen, it's 31-6. Menor leads. And not long ago, it was 10-6. Menor was still leading, of course, but 3 consecutive touchdowns by the Menor offense. And again, that's an offense with 4 Division I offered guys, and their quarterback being one of them. And you know, the quarterback, of course, the leader, the strength of your offense, really the center of it all, center of the operation. He's the one guy that's committed as a 3-star to West Virginia University, the Big 12 school. So he's going to take on some tough competition. Of course, as we know, Texas and Oklahoma left that league, but still, that is a tough Division I group. Here's Jasir Eady with a collapsing pocket. He'll roll off to the far side. He's looking for a man, or no, he'll send it over to the sideline of the Menor Cardinals. Shaker currently 0 for 4 in passing this quarter. 1:06 remaining in the quarter. We'll see if Menor is going to try to pressure them for the football back to try and make it a 30-plus differential before the clock hits 0 for the half. We'll see. But Scotty Fox, again, that 6'2" guy we were just talking about, at the beginning of the season, he needed just north of 3,000 passing yards this season to break Mitchell Trubisky's career record at Menor. That time a solid run. It'll bring it to a 3rd down. And it's not looking likely that he will break Trubisky's record, but no matter the case, when you're putting up stats comparable to an NFL quarterback, you gotta give yourself a pat on the back. Now that's a timeout taken by Shaker. We're gonna step aside. 31-6 is your score. The Cardinals leading in Shaker territory. Excuse me, correction, it was the Menor Cardinals sideline that took the timeout. Again, they might be pressuring to get that football back and have the last half be fully running clock. We're about to see. Here's a run to the near side. Landon Bryant can't pick up the yard needed for the 3rd down play. And now Menor won't take a timeout. Not sure why they took the timeout earlier then. It's going to be 4th down. Alex Nicholson leaving the offense out there for the moment. He might take a timeout. He's got one more in his back pocket. He's letting this play clock run down. It's now currently at 10, 14 seconds left to go in this 2nd quarter. Again, Menor up 25. And now he'll take timeout. Clock stops at 3 seconds. Now no one's got any timeouts remaining, 0 per side. So with 3 seconds, what did they decide to do? Shakers staff getting set for the marching band halftime show. Always an incredible show that the Shaker band does put on. Always fun. I mean, you saw last week for that homecoming game where it was a glow-in-the-dark theme. They did a glow-in-the-dark show, and that was incredible. Now we just await the referee.
It's good.
5 seconds left in the quarter. Shaker's going to go for it. It's a 4th and 3. Why not? Or maybe, who knows? 5 seconds left. Shaker down 25. Jasir Eady runs it to the left side, and he's just going to let this one run out. 0 seconds remain. There's halftime. So the band will make their way out. We should get Menor to start. Shaker will follow suit next. I'll step aside. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Shaker down by 25 after the first 24 minutes of the football game, but don't you move a muscle. We've got 24 left to go here in the Week 7 matchup. It's Shakerites versus Menor. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be back for the third quarter.
Cupid's album, Time for a Change. This is Cupid Shuffle.
Oh my God! Who ran this show? Be this one. They said Miss Dabo's doing.
We now close our halftime show. We're going back to 1965 when Simon and Garfunkel wrote a song that endured the decades and was then covered by Disturbed and Pentatonics. Without further ado, here are the sounds of silence. by Bill Hughes, Victoria Scott, Ken LeGrand, J.C. Sherman, Joe Kulikowski, and Rachel Maggs. Flag Corps by Paige Campbell. Radar Advisor, Sally Davros. Percussion Advisor, Drew Parent.
No, there's no drum. There's no drum for this one. Dead.
Yeah, man. All for a weekend in right back to the last one of the season. Please say that. All for a weekend in this one more. You right now. One more whole day back.
You will see us no more? Not yet. No. We're gonna have 10 schools. First one I'm looking at is South Carolina. Exactly. Arizona State. How's it looking? Yeah, their program is good. So, sports media, journalism, basically whatever the school titles it fits. So, yeah, they're being a great program. So it's weird because I'm like, compared to it's still basically how an athlete. It's not playing time, no, it's not like time. And it's how can I get there on recognition skill. It's like it's interesting. If I leave here on oh, I know. Yes, we've talked. 0.4. Minimum Garfield needs for the next one. The stat he's a good player. He did more last he's doing nothing but Yep. Alright. No, I mean, I'm still doing hockey. I mean, that's what I let him. When I go off, right. I don't know. I've tried it in hockey. Like, I'm considering bowling barely in hockey. We'll see. Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that. That's your stats? Yep. Oh, I didn't do that. You won't. Oh, welcome back, Shaker Heights Varsity football.
Welcome back, Shaker Heights Varsity football fans. 12 minutes up on the clock here as we begin the third quarter of play. Shaker down by 25 points. And, well, it's mainly at the total yards. If you really want to look at the stats, that's what's going to be pointed out first. 269 yards for Menor. Shaker on the other end, 57 yards. And if we look at total plays, that advantage is Menor, but it's 31-27. That's a point per play. Shaker, on the other hand, 6 points in the game, 27 plays. And here's a beauty of a run from number 3. And he's taking it all the way to the 20-yard line. And already phenomenal start for the Menor Cardinals. Marcus Serpatowski. He had a couple drops in that first quarter and the second quarter, but now here he is making a phenomenal play to begin this third quarter. Only 13 seconds off the clock. Shaker down by 25 points. And with one more score from Menor, it means running clock, as it would be a 30-plus point differential. We're about to find out. Here's Scotty Fox. Scotty Fox, there's this one out. He finds his D1 offered wide receiver. And there you go, 30-plus point differential. We're going to look to running clock now. Touchdown, Menor. And it's a 31-point differential, getting set to be 32 as Dylan Tackett comes out. Only 18 seconds into this third quarter. Menor is picking up where they left off. And they had a great ending to that second quarter. This kick is up and that kick is good. Hits off the scoreboard. That's how good their kicker is. So 38-6 is your score, and we're already going to take a step aside as Shaker is now down by 32. We're going to get running clock set up. We're going to get the kickoff teams out there. We'll be right back. Vaughn Ullum on the call from the Russell H. Rupp Stadium. Tackett back out there to kick this one away from the 40-yard line of his side of midfield. Here's the jog up and the powerful kick once more. My goodness, this kid could have some college offers, but I'm not sure he does. But regardless, if he keeps kicking like that, it's going to be a easy stroll for him as a walk-on at any school he goes to. 11:07 remaining in quarter number 3, and keep in mind, that clock will roll and roll. Like right now, drive has not even started yet, and it's 10:45 remaining in the third quarter. And now it's already 10:40. This is what I'm talking about. Here's Jasir Eady. Rolls out. It's a play-action rollout, and the throw, he was looking that time for Jaden Holmes, the junior wide receiver, but it'll fall incomplete. But that doesn't mean the clock stops. (38-6). Menor is leading here in Shaker territory. This game, Spectrum Game of the Week, which honestly surprised a lot of people, considering Archbishop Hoban and Walsh Jesuit are taking on each other this week, and that is a game to watch. Two of the best Ohio schools, period, playing each other. Not just Northeast Ohio. That's just a coincidence. Those are two phenomenal schools. That run to the far side doesn't go much of anywhere. But those two schools, watch out for those, because those two schools can be making some deep playoff runs, including Menor. Menor, a strong-willed team that has just been able to prove themselves so far. Again, they're 6-0 with the way this game is going. And, of course, the running clock gives me a little bit more confidence. 7-0 record. Here's a dump-off pass dropped by the Shaker man. The attempt was for number 6, Landon Bryant. He got a lot of handoffs in that first half of the football game, but just wasn't working out. And so they stopped running him as much. 8:50 remaining in this third quarter. Clock rolls. Next week, it'll be a game at Strongsville, the Petcatan Stadium. And what's the main difference of that game? Well, it's on a Thursday. This one fair caught and around the 48. So they've got 48 yards to go as they're on their favorable side of midfield. Menor and Shaker cheerleaders now clapping and celebrating together. This is probably one of my favorite traditions in a football game, seeing the cheerleaders come together and do their own thing. You can see it right there as we're going to highlight it on the center of your screen. I mean, you can see them playing their cheerleader games, just having fun. No matter where they're from. We've seen it from Euclid. We've seen it from Menor. We've seen it from every school we have faced. There, a good pass to the left side. That time it was for number 4, Grant Cerny, the senior receiver. But regardless of what community you're from or what community you're in or whatever, you're going to continue to see this kind of equality between cheerleaders. No matter how that football game is going. 32-point differential. Of course, you just saw another first down picked up by the Cardinals. Here's Fox once again to the near side. He finds a wide open man, and Burns is off to the races, turning on the jet, and touchdown Cardinals. Tackett getting set for another PAT. It's going to be his 6th of the night. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it is good. Once again, we step aside. It's a 39-point game. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call from Shaker Heights, Ohio. There you go. You can see some of what the cheerleaders are doing down there, singing their song, dancing their dance. But we're here for the football, and right now it is one-sided. Menor leading by 39. It's 45-6. May I say, it was at a time 10-6. Where's that score gone? Because it is long gone. And this time another kick right to the end zone. And Shaker leaves this one for a touchback. Clock will continue to roll. 5 minutes and counting. Now 4:50. The clock only stops for things like scores and touchdowns. Then we stop it as we get the kickoff set. Or, excuse me, apparently it didn't for this time around. I believe, however, we saw that in the Benedictine game a couple times. But it might be a GCC rule. Not exactly sure, but regardless, we'll keep telling you how it happens. And so far, it hasn't happened that way. Clock has just been rolling. 4:20 left to go in this third quarter. Jasir Eady back there, the starting quarterback for the Shaker Red Raiders. Week 7 of his junior year, his first starting season, and that time right through the hands of Alan Martin. Nothing more Jasir Eady could have done. We're getting some more reps from players like Alan Martin. We haven't seen him too much this season, but this time he's getting some reps. Shaker huddling up as it's going to be a 2nd down and 10, a bit of a long huddle. But the play clock has not rolled. Oh. And penalty moves Shaker back to about the 10-yard line. Alex Nicholson really standing on the field for the moment. Now he'll back up. Jasir Eady, not sure if that was a play action something or if that was just a broken play, but his running back didn't follow where the ball was. And so he just took off and ran, and not exactly the worst decision as it gets him some solid yards. Call it about a 2nd down, maybe 7. Excuse me, 2nd down, 7 yards to go. Ball at the 27. Or excuse me, ball at the 23 more so. Here's a throw to the right side, and this one, did it hit the turf? It did indeed. That was close. To an INT, advantage Menor Cardinals. Two minutes remaining in the third quarter. Shaker down by 39 points. And here's a high snap into the shoulder of Jasir Eady. He's going to sling this one. And this one lands incomplete. Not honestly a bad throw whatsoever. So Jasir Eady is 0 for 5 in passing this half. Or you could say this quarter. Third quarter, second half, whatever you want to say it. Both of them not over just yet. There's a minute remaining in this quarter number 3 and this half number 2. Lucas White stands behind the 10-yard line at about the 8 to punt this one away. Then this one a solid punt, fair caught as it passes midfield and makes its way to the 48. The clock will continue to roll.
White's punt is fair caught by Shertowski. The Cardinals will begin on their own. 46. First and 10.
The play clock not rolling, so technically they don't have to run another play. I'm not exactly sure how this works. I don't know if they can just wait this one out. I mean, if the play clock isn't running, you don't have to run a play ever again. You can just call this one a night. But now the play clock is running. This is going to be a run up the middle by Menor, and it takes us to the end of quarter number 3. So Shaker falls down some more. Entered into the quarter at a 25-point differential. We leave it at a 39-point differential as a 14-0 quarter advantage. Menor is what we are left with for the third. Fourth and final quarter coming up. 12 more minutes of the football game. Again, should be running clock for the remainder of this one. Shaker down 39 here at the Russell H. Rupp Stadium. Brogan Jones, the new quarterback in for the Menor Cardinals. Sounds like his father named him with a name like Brogan. I mean, you know, that guy is fit to play football with a name like Brogan. But he's got some time to shine as Scotty Fox, the D1 commit, is out now that it's a 39-point ball game. And here's a run up the middle. They give it to Dominic Burns, and he turns on the Jets. He'll get a first down and a couple more yards. And again, that clock will roll no matter what for the remainder of the game. Unless they shorten the score back to a deficit of under 30 points. But Shaker has not scored since getting that one touchdown early on. In that first half, Shaker was 1 for 7 through the air, 15 yards, and that's really all they had in the air. On the run, they averaged 2 yards per carry in the first half. It was just not a pretty time. This looks like PI, but it doesn't get the call, I assume, because the pass was just very much out of reach. It's going to be the first incompletion of this half. This time it's thrown by good old Brogan Jones. 10:50 remaining in the fourth and final quarter. Shaker with the loss here today will be moving forward into a Thursday night football game against the Strongsville Mustangs, a team that we are led to believe is comparable to this one. With this game, Shaker has now, for 3 weeks straight, entered into a running clock situation. And now flag is thrown before the play gets underway. We'll see what it is. It's a sideline warning. This time it's against Menor. So each squad has had a warning now. Now under 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Shaker losing 45-6. Ball spotted at the 41-yard line. Out is Dominic Burns. In comes number 30 to be in the backfield, Ryan Orson. And here another flag down right as the play gets snapped. And both O-line and defensive line fighting each other to bring down the other, and it looks like there's going to be a false start ruled. False start is declined.
That's the 39, not the 41.
The ball or the stick is placed in the wrong spot. But we play on. 8:40 left to go in the fourth and final quarter. Here's a run up the middle. This time it's with Orsug. And he's taken down about 3 yards away from the first down marker. D'Angelo Pettis, the man to bring that running back down, and we'll see what yardage, or excuse me, where the ball is placed, and indeed it will be placed at about the 34, 33, maybe just the 33 and a half if you want to get real specific. 8:05 and counting left to go in the fourth quarter. They're going for it on the 4th and 3. Here's a run. Will he get there? It looks like he'll be close as can be. And they say that it's going to go to Shaker. Just stopped him short, barely. And not a lot of energy in this Shaker squad anymore. They know this one is just about out of reach. They're down 39, but the offense back out there. And why not hand the ball to a new guy? They give it to Quinn Malone. Let's see what he's got in him with about 7.5 remaining in the football game. Quinn Malone takes the snap, the lefty. Throws this one downfield, and that one right in the hands of Brian Fleshman. But he couldn't reel it in. Quinn Malone was on the money. His receiver just could not come up with it. Clock rolls, 7 minutes remaining. Shaker down 39. Quinn Malone in what's going to be his second pass attempt. What has he got in front of him? He rolls out of the pocket. The lefty throws this one downfield and out of bounds around midfield. And that brings up a 3rd and 10. 0 for 7 on the half is Shaker Heights. 0 for 2 is Malone. 0 for 5 is Edie. And without Cornell Beard in the backfield, you got to complete the passes. And if you don't, you're going to face a score like it is right now, down 39. Quinn Malone hit as he releases it. And the ball does cross over the line to gain, but that's not enough. You got to catch it. And unfortunately, no receiver is close enough to come down. So, 6 minutes remaining in the fourth and final. Shaker's still down 45-6. Lucas White stands back on the 17-yard line of his side of midfield. This punt, pretty solid. Fair caught, and it'll be taken in by a tumbling number 45 around the 45. Looks like they're going to mark it at exactly the 45. First and 10 for the Cardinals once more, and I believe we're going to see that backup quarterback in once again, and indeed we do. It's number 13, Brogan Jones. And let's see what they can do now. And now
Offsides against Shaker.
looks like we're going to get an offsides.
Ball's going to be moved to the midfield stripe.
The ball moved to the midfield stripe as it was at the 45. Now move it up to the 50. They're 50 yards away from another score. Right now, Strongsville taking on Medina, and that's just about how we could expect it. I can tell you one thing, not last year, though. That'll be a first down pickup on the ground for Menor. Last year, Strongsville struggled. Shaker beat them in one of their 7 victories. They only lost to teams like Medina, Heights, and Menor. But now, Shaker is probably, in these final 4 weeks, Medina's probably the #1 team they can beat. Heights is still a powerhouse. Menor, if you can't tell, in front of you is a powerhouse. There, another run up the middle, gets another solid gain. So Strongsville beating Medina 35-14. Another GCC game going on right now. 37-0. Brunswick taking down Euclid. Keep in mind, Shaker surprisingly lost to Euclid. Earlier in the season, it was a 14-10 game that nobody was expecting that outcome of. Other than that, for the other GCC school, Cleveland Heights taking on River Rouge from Michigan. Menor played them last week, beat them 45-21. Here's a run up the middle.
Ball's carried by number 30, Orzak. Ratcliffe on the stop.
And that run, in that game between Menor
This moment to recognize the
and River Rouge of Michigan was actually their second game versus an out-of-state opponent as they beat McDowell. If you're a hockey fan, you've heard McDowell before. They're in a tournament in which Shaker participates. They're in Pennsylvania. They're residing in Erie. Menor beat McDowell 50-14 in week 2. That was back on September 6th. It's about a month ago. Here's a run near side, and that's just going to go about nowhere. Speaking of hockey, Menor, the only GCC school that actually compares to Shaker Heights when it comes to hockey. Teams like Euclid and Brunswick don't have a hockey team. Medina's a club squad. Menor, you actually get them on your regular season schedule just because they're good competition. Over the last few years, Shaker and Menor have seen each other in the playoffs, and they've been good games. They're a big tackle from number 70 of the Red Raiders, Robert Thomas, getting his name called out. 1:17 remaining in the game. And it was on the 4th down and 3. So Shaker's offense is going to take over. The clock stops for the change of possession. Another thing about Menor, they also, if we're talking about athletics as a whole, the interesting piece, their track and field team won the state championship only 3 years ago. And as mentioned, their football team can make a name as well for that state championship. You know, the Ohio High School football database of Drew Pastor's Drew Pastor's Ohio Fantastic 50, they had Menor actually having 0.5% chance to win state championships. Here, Quinn Malone taking off. And they don't have to run another play. We'll see if they do. But, yeah, this database had Menor with a 0.5% chance to win states. And that might not seem like a lot, but 0.5%, it's not too bad. Quinn Malone drops back. He's looking to throw it. He has his man open. That time it was number 13, Andrew Murray. They've got 10 seconds and they're going to hurry it up just to get one final play off. Why not go for it all? 1 second left. They snap it. What'll Quinn Malone do? He'll go to the air, and it's through the hands of the receiver. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how this game has gone. And that is how really the season has gone up to this point. All right, ladies. Oof, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, this game, just like the last two, Shaker loses after a 30-point deficit, or actually greater than 30-point deficit, to get running clock for the opponent, and that was 2 games at home, 1 game at JCU against Benedictine. So these last 3 weeks, they have not been pretty, and it has been this now the 5th straight loss for Shaker Heights. They also lost to Euclid and Solon in weeks 3 and 4. They're hanging on to those 2 victories in weeks 1 and 2. But as mentioned, next week, Shaker will take on Strongsville in Strongsville. It should be a Thursday night matchup, another GCC rival. We're seeing Strongsville taking down Medina. It should be a tough competition like what you saw here today, Shaker versus Menor. Menor getting the better of Shaker 45-6. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum with the call. We'll see you soon.